All right.
There we go. Hi, and welcome to Sentinel Sports Extra Guardians Weekly Report. No analytics. And today I'm joined by my former talk show partner, Josh Dome. Hi, Josh.
Hello.
I'm glad you're with us today.
Glad to be here.
It's been about, I'm thinking it's been about what, 2.5? It's been about 6 months since we've been on the air together.
Yeah.
We had a good 2-year run.
Yeah.
We really did. And one of our last shows was the tornado show. And that now has the most hits of any show we did. But now tonight we're going to talk about the Guardians. They started off, they had a rough start. They started off on 3-6 on the road. On last week's report, I guess I was pretty negative. I predicted they would go 2-4 on this homestand. Well, they shut me up. They went 5-1. They dropped the finale today. So, what did you think about how they looked on this homestand as opposed to the opening road trip?
Oh, I think they just started getting comfortable. They got home. They got comfortable. They got back in front of the home crowd, and everything clicked. I think it started clicking. Everyone felt right. The bats looked pretty good. The pitching was way better. The pitching was more consistent. We were locating better overall. Just seemed like everything clicked once we got back home.
Yeah, I thought the starting pitching was very, very good on the homestand. They gave up in total. They gave up 45 runs on the opening road trip. This week they gave up 10.
Yeah, that's I mean, you're dividing by 3.5 there.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
If you give up 3.5 runs a game, you're probably going to have a pretty good record. I was very encouraged that Louis Ortiz pitched very well.
Oh yeah, that was really great to see. Very well last night.
Because go on.
That's what I mean by really locking in on location there, because that first start he was getting lit up. He couldn't locate. He was walking a lot of guys, and he really was hitting spots yesterday.
Yeah, he was. I apologize to the people watching that our video is lagging a little bit. So if one of us asks a question and someone says, then someone responds, if it takes a second to respond, it's because the video is lagging a little bit. But both Josh and I, we're talking before that we both need new computers, so that would help. What do you think, Josh? I mean, we talked about this last year during the season, and I talked to a guy today who covered the team in the 70s through the 2000s, early 2000s. And I think it's very much a consensus among, not just fans, but people who know the game. John Kenzie Noel needs to play. Is that your thinking also?
Yeah, I agree. And I've had a lot of similar conversations with a lot of my buddies when it comes to a lot of the young guys. and a lot of people just aren't patient these days. No one's patient. Like, the only develop is time. You got to give him the playing experience. Just he'll figure it out. He's got talent. He's a good player. He just needs to keep getting at bats. He'll figure it out.
He does, and I think it's so much. I think with him and with a lot of baseball, you played baseball, like Josh. How successful would you have been if, when you played in high school, if you would have played once a week out of 5 games?
Yeah,
it's not easy.
I mean, it would have been so much different.
I think your brother's a great example of that. He, up until his senior year,
I agree.
He didn't play that often. And he'd go up there a lot of times and strike out. But then when he got a chance to play every day, he was successful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, it's only magnified at the pro level. One of my good friends, I mentioned him before, Ted Kubiak, who played for Oakland in the 70s and was an instructor in the Indians system for quite a long time, over 25 years. He talked about how he was a utility player. It is hard to come off that bench and hit after you've been sitting for so long. I think he told me that one time in the World Series, he had to pinch hit, and he hadn't had an at bat in 10 days. And I said, well, what happened? He said, I struck out. What do you think? I just think, I feel like they worry so much about lefty, righty, they're almost obsessed with platooning at this point.
I agree.
And why is Daniel Schneemann on this team?
Send him back down.
Send him down. I wouldn't even care if they DFA'd him. I mean, I usually don't go that hard against a guy, but he's just really hard to watch.
Yeah, it's been rough. It's rough.
And this, you're going to love this. I found out from a person who's covered the team for a lot of years that the reason they traded Tyler Freeman was they felt Daniel Schneemann was the better option.
Because I've been asking around what's been the reason? What's the reason that we traded Tyler Freeman? So so if that's the answer.
It's unbelievable, really.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, let's face it, at this point, and I'm a believer in the team. I'm a believer in the front office. This, and not because of lack of moves, I think this was the worst offseason they've had in a decade.
Yeah.
Trading Naylor and trading
Jimenez.
You know how bad I am at saying his name. Oh my God. I got like a problem with that. I don't know why I do. I can't, I struggle with it. Tommy's like, why can't you say it? Like it's, but I wouldn't have had a problem with them trading them if they got some substantial players in return. Who knows? Ortiz might end up being good.
Right.
Okay, he might. We might have judged that too soon. But Naylor, they got some draft slot money.
What, got an ice cream cone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got Slade Chacon, or
Oh yeah.
It sounds like a mob hitman. And he's on the DL right now, of course. But
of course.
It's just not looking good right now. And I believe in them, but I'm just saying their moves this past offseason are not looking good. But hey, if they go and end up winning the division, I look like an idiot, but not that I've been wrong ever before.
No.
But they're a game behind the Tigers. Okay.
Yeah.
So going into today, they had the longest winning streak in baseball. The Guardians did 5 games. Covering the Cavs this season, I'm used to streaks. I'm used to winning.
Oh yeah,
okay?
Long winning streaks.
I think it was. I think it was January. Was it January? No, it was December. Before I wrote my first article, a loss. Like that's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess I'm expecting the Guardians to do the same thing. But
especially after last year, though.
What about Kyle Manzardo?
Manzardo. Well,
yeah.
I mean, that's the reason we traded Naylor, right? So let him.
He's the reason that makes sense.
Let him play. And you know what, Tim? I know we talked about this last year, and we were really, really angry about it because we get rid of all these guys for all these prospects, and we weren't calling them up. We weren't letting them play.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what they did this for, to get rid of some all-stars and let these young guys play. So, But to be honest, Manzardo's looking pretty good. I've been pretty confident in him. I think he's swinging the bat pretty good. I think he is he's got more discipline in the plate, in the box. And you know what? I think he's going to be really good. So I like Manzardo.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, people are like, well, how do you replace the 30 home runs and 100 RBI? Well, the guy might be right there.
Yeah, he might just do it this year. So,
I was kind of disappointed. What did you think? I was kind of disappointed. Like we talked about Freeman already, but I was disappointed with that trade.
I agree.
Why are they trading back for Nolan Jones?
I didn't get it. And for me, it was even more confusing because we trade Nolan Jones to the Rockies. He plays phenomenal. He gets a full season to start, and he plays terrible. And then that's when you trade for him back.
Yeah.
And to be honest, he's not playing very good right now. So.
No, and he's hurt a lot.
So I'm just not getting it. I thought Tyler Freeman played phenomenal defense last year. I think Tyler Freeman is still an asset to a team. So I agree.
I think Freeman meant a lot in the locker room too. I'll tell you what I thought. I don't know. Did you hear about the Will Brennan, how that transpired? Where they told him this. I heard this too from a reliable source that at 10:30 in the morning they told him he made the roster for opening day. And then by 2:30 they traded for Nolan Jones and had to call him back in and tell him you're going to Columbus.
Jeez.
Could you have handled that any worse?
Jeez.
Don't tell me that trade transpired within 4 hours. Like, don't tell me that they didn't know already when they told him that he made the team that this was a possibility. This is a team that values their locker room. And then they get rid, basically screw a guy over who's a good locker room guy,
right,
and send another one out of town by trading him in the same 4-hour span. I'm very, you know me, I defend the Guardians a lot.
Oh yeah. I know.
I get a lot of flack for defending them. But I'm glad they had a good week, 5-1 on the week.
Yep.
And I'm glad they played well against the Royals because the normal skeptics. Well, they just beat the White Sox.
Who actually aren't looking bad.
No, they've actually looked better. I mean, they're terrible, but they've looked better.
Well, Crochet had a no-hitter going today.
Being well, that's it. And being that he's with the Red Sox, and you saw who broke it up.
Yeah.
One of the guys the White Sox got for him.
Yeah.
Look up the no-hitter.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That was
Especially
fun. When I saw that notification, I was like, okay.
Especially if it happens to Boston, anything
Sure,
negative that
Boston.
happens to them is good. But I think it's going to be a 3-team race: the Royals, the Guardians, and the Tigers. I'm still not sure I believe in the Tigers. I think AJ Hinch has had a lot of luck and a lot of things right in his career. So I still don't think he's a great manager.
I don't think so.
But I'm enjoying seeing the Twins be terrible.
Yes, this is good to see. They're just showing their true colors now. I mean, we've known this all along, Tim. This is the Twins.
Yeah.
This is what they should be. The Tigers are definitely a better team than them, so I think we'll see that this year.
And the Royals are legitimate too.
I think the Royals are legitimate. Yeah.
Yeah. But no one believes in the AL Central.
No,
if you look at it, the AL Central has 3 teams above 500. Oh, the AL East has 2.
Oh.
How about that?
The greatest division in baseball.
Will any national show talk about that? They won't. No. Because, it's all about the big markets.
No.
They hate the Central because it's small market teams. But so now
all the big markets are over there.
Yeah. We look ahead here. Turned a light on there. Remember the first Josh and Tim Talk Sports show when we didn't have lights? We didn't have good lighting. And I was trying to get Tony to turn on the lights. He was saying, if you look back at the video of that show, it's so bad. So I didn't learn from that. So I just turned on a light here. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't learn from that. So I just turned on a light here because I have to read. And so the Guardians now go to Baltimore for 3. That series is starting on Tuesday. And then they go, so Tuesday through Thursday. And then they go to Pittsburgh to play the Pirates for the next weekend. And, the Pirates, they're the Pirates. And I feel horrible for their fan base. Like, they don't deserve
I know. I live with one.
No.
That poor guy.
Do you talk him off the ledge once a week?
I gotta tell him, hey, you got a good young core of guys, all right?
That'll be gone soon, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That owner is something. Is it one of your roommates?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he see I'm sure he did, being he's a Pirates fan, the fiasco with the Roberto Clemente number?
No.
Oh my God. Well, it's back up now. They took Roberto Clemente's number down in right field and put advertising there.
Unbelievable. No.
And no one knew, not even the writers knew until opening day.
What kind of world are we in now?
Oh, the fans and the media in Pittsburgh were livid.
They should be.
Like I said to Tommy, I said, that owner, he might not want to show his face there because his life could be in danger. Because he disrespected Roberto Clemente in Pittsburgh. I mean, as great as the Steelers have been, and the Penguins have been, like with Mario Lemieux and Sidney Crosby and those guys, Yeah.
Yep.
Roberto Clementi's the man.
I agree.
And he literally covered his
Legend.
number with advertising. Like,
it's all about money, right? It's all about money.
It's all about him keeping all the money, because it's terrible what he's done there. It really is terrible. So the Guardians will play there Friday through Sunday, and hopefully Paul Skeens pitches Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
Yeah.
And they got a couple other guys that are good too, and hopefully they pitch Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
That would be nice.
Yeah. And but I mean, because that's it. I mean, they've got really good pitching. I don't think their bullpen's very good though.
They do. They have good starters and a good closer.
Yeah. So, but Baltimore, what worries me about Baltimore is they've struggled so far. I mean, they're in last place. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They lost, they lost today. So it kind of worries me because, they're going to wake up at some point.
Yeah.
They're too good to be under 500. I mean, they've scored 66 runs, but they've also given up 72.
I think that's it. I think it's the pitching right now.
Yeah, Grayson Rodriguez is out. That's hurting them. They let Corbin Burns go in the offseason. They didn't re-sign him. I hear they're getting a lot of flack for that.
It should be. They're a playoff team.
Yeah. That went out in the first round last year too. So that was disappointing too. Their manager, he might be on the hot seat. On
the hot seat, yeah.
Yeah, he's had a long leash, but he might be on the hot seat. So, but the Guardians, they have scored 59 runs. They've given up 61. So I think prior to the homestand, they were a -13. So they definitely, got that ratio closer to where it should. You got to score. In the end, you have to score more runs than you give up if you're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't be a playoff team. So what do you think? Let's talk about this last topic. What do you think about Stephen Vogt's when a guy goes 5 2/3 innings, and in the post game he says Tanner went deep tonight, or Ben went deep tonight? Like, how do you feel about that, Josh?
I gotta be honest with you, Tim. I can't watch it anymore. I am sick, absolutely sick and tired of it.
I know.
You saw that's exactly what killed us in the playoffs, and it was so obvious. It was so obvious.
Did he not learn from that?
And we're still doing it.
I know.
And I've even heard, when I'm hearing the football guys on the radio saying, I understand if it's the first game, their first start, maybe we're going to keep them 80, 90 pitches, right? But when it's the next 2-3 starts and we're pulling guys out in the 4th, 5th inning, have we had a guy pitch into the 6th? Like, just a few times. We haven't even had a guy go into the 7th. Like, have we had any guys reach 100 pitches?
I believe Ortiz did yesterday.
Oh, yeah. But, it's not a lot.
And you brought up a good point. You said the football guys on the radio bringing it up.
Yeah.
If it's obvious to those idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
How obvious is it? If those guys who have a football for a brain realize, then how obvious is it? This misuse of the bullpen. It's disgusting. It is so I don't know how going into this series, or no, after 11 games. So that was after the game on Wednesday. Hunter Gaddis had appeared in 7 games, and so did Paul Sewald of the 11. They're on pace to make 105 appearances.
Jeez.
Yeah. I just don't get it.
Them to death.
It's this analytics. You know the analytics crap about a guy can't face the order the 3rd time around. You know, guys only did that for, I don't know, 140 years in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, what do the analytics say there? There's a lot of guys that could do it.
Well, things were different, you know. They always have an excuse.
A lot of guys that could do it.
Yes. They always have an excuse for it's baseball ignorance. It really is. And that's why we don't use analytics on this show.
No analytics.
You know, I like the basic stats.
And the good old-fashioned eye test.
Yes, and average, home runs, RBI, OPS, on base percentage. Those are the ones. You know, and for a pitcher, ERA, WHIP, and or relievers, inherited runners allowed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like you said, it was apparent in the playoffs that he overworked the bullpen, and by the time they got to the series against the Yankees, they were done. That bullpen was gassed.
Yeah. One of my buddies brought up a great point. Cade Smith started the postseason averaging about 98 miles an hour on his fastball, and by that Yankee series, when he was giving up homers, he was throwing the fastball about 91, 92 miles an hour.
There we go. And don't tell me that Class A's slow start this year isn't carryover from that. You know? So.
And we haven't taught him a new pitch yet.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. Mariano Rivera got away with one pitch for all those years. And he was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I just think that the overuse is more of a problem than anything with him. You know.
I agree.
So.
Gotta let the starters go. It's their job.
So there's 6 games coming up this week. Okay, and I predicted it last week. So, I'll give my pick for this week. Again, I'll give a pick. I'm going to say 3-3 this week. I'll be a little more optimistic than I was last week. I'm going to go 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say?
See, I really want to lean 4-2, but I have to agree and go with 3-3. I don't think they're gonna play bad. I don't think they're gonna play amazing. I think they're gonna win. They're gonna definitely win a series, but I don't know if they're gonna win 2 series.
Yeah, I could see them dropping the series in Baltimore and winning the series in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
but not sweeping either.
Yeah.
So, but well, you know what? I think that's it for this week. And thank you, Josh, for coming on.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you on again if you're available. It's great, always great to talk Guardians with you.
Mm-hmm.
So until next week. Oh, you know what? We got one last thing to go.
Don't forget. There's one more thing.
We're going over 30 minutes, and that's okay. Hey, we always go overtime, don't we, Josh? We never end when we're supposed to.
No.
So here it is. We're going to bring something back from Josh and Tim Talk Sports. The dad joke to finish the show.
Here we go.
I have a friend who is addicted to brake fluid. He says he can stop anytime he wants. There we go. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. It's not as good as the semicolon comment, but it was pretty good, I think.
No, that was pretty good. That was definitely a legitimate good one.
So all right, like that's going to be it for this week. Again, thanks, Josh, for coming. Hopefully we can have you on again.
Yeah.
And until next week, everybody, go Guardians, and let's hope my prediction's wrong to the negative and Josh's. And we'll find out. We'll talk to you next week. So have a good night, everybody.